Hello, it's Laura. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before I talk about anything else today, I need to share this shirt with you. Look at this thing. This is my new favorite thing ever in the world. 1980s purple terry cloth cat shirt, ringer style. Like this is a different shirt underneath it. So cute. The little text down there that says south of the border, which is like some weird roadside attraction in Florida. Not important. Purple terry cloth cat shirt. I love this. I'm going to live in this for the rest of my life, so get used to seeing it. I got this on Depop. I don't sell a whole lot on Depop, but it's certainly been good for me lately as far as finding fun things to buy. I paid, I think, $30 total for this, including the shipping, and the seller got it out super quick. It has some weird flaws on the back, but the seller disclosed all of those. So it was so awesome. I love this shirt so much. I'm so excited. Look how cute this is. I love this. Anyway, okay. So, what are we going to talk about today? I want to talk about motivation, specifically for myself because I can't get it together lately. But I figure you all probably have similar issues. And so I've figured out a couple of little ways to trick myself lately. So, part of my problems with motivation are usually focus related or overwhelm related. Those are like my big things. And I've got in the past, I've found like little ways to sort of trick myself. This week, what I'm thinking is I'm going to start combining some of the ways to trick myself. Right. So sometimes I'll say, like, oh, okay, I'm going to try, like, I set myself a listing goal. I'm going to list X number of things this week. But I don't think that's enough. Right. I have let's go through this. Let me just show you. Okay, so first, one of the first things I'm going to use to motivate myself is my little inventory cards. Now, you may have seen these in a recent video. I talked about them. I store all of my inventory in tote bins, and each tote bin holds approximately 30 pieces of inventory, and each of those pieces gets assigned a little number. Now, this number serves a couple of different purposes. Number one, it tells me where the thing is. When I sell it, right, my listing will give me my inventory number in the little special custom SKU field. It'll say this is in box T16. And so then I know, go to box T, and then it's the item that has the tag that says T16. So that helps. Part of the reason that I need that number to find the item, besides like knowing what tote bin it's in, is also because sometimes things are similar. Like I have a lot of, floral rayon 90s dresses. And between the time I look at it on the computer and the time I go to box T to start digging through it, I will already have forgotten either what I'm supposed to get or specifically which floral rayon 90s dress I'm supposed to get, right? So now at least I know, okay, it's a floral rayon 90s dress and it's number T16, makes it easier. The other thing this does is it lets me know how much space is in each box. Because I have approximately 30 items in each box, all my boxes are very dark colors, but even if they were clear, I don't think I could see through them that well. But I know, like, if I have a piece of inventory that I want to put away, okay, well, what box has room? And I go to my little tags. I don't normally have this many. So there was a point in time where I had 2 IKEA bags full of inventory that I couldn't get into my totes. So now I've got in the opposite direction, and I counted these. There are 123 open spaces in my inventory system, which is horrifying to me. I feel very behind. Now, you could say, but Laura, that means that that's because you've sold a lot of items. And that's true. And I have been putting things away, and then more things sell, and I have to take the tags back out. And so that's good. But also, this is terrifying, especially considering all the little piles of inventory that I have all over the place. So that's motivation factor number one. Can I get that number to go down? Okay. Motivation factor number two for me is going to be my Vendoo plan. So Vendoo is a cross-listing platform, essentially. I list to Etsy, eBay, and Depop. And instead, I started what they call, cross-posting. So you have one item for sale, but you list it in multiple places. And there are a lot of people who will do that manually. They'll go and they'll list it on Etsy, and then they'll copy some information over to eBay, and then they'll do the same thing to wherever else they're selling. I cannot do that because I cannot manage. A, that's very tedious. I'll cry. B, I will forget to take listings down. I will forget what's listed in multiple places versus what is not listed in multiple places. So I've never been a cross lister, but Vendoo is a platform that will take care of that for you, take care of it for you. They it's a management tool. So I go into Vendoo and I write my draft, and then there's certain things that every platform has in common, like it's going to have a title and it's going to have an item description and you're going to put a price and you're going to put shipping dimensions and all those things. So you fill all that sort of like in common stuff out in Vendoo, and then you go and you like add in all the extra little eBay, Etsy, or Depop particulars, and then you can publish everything directly from Vendoo, and it's wonderful. um, Vendor does a lot of other good stuff too. They're great. I love it. So I have a plan that allows me to create 125 listings every month. I don't do anywhere near 125 listings every month, but last month and the month before, I did 50 listings each month. You may think that sounds like a lot, or you think that sounds like tragically too low. We're all a little bit different. So I would like that to be higher. I am currently at 25 out of my 125 for the month. My month starts on the 20th of each month. So like not really halfway through, but kind of. So my goal for this month is to get at least 50 listings. I'd like to get higher. I think I got 50 and then I got like 52 the following month. I don't remember. So I want to get higher than 50 for my Vendoo plan this month. So that's two motivational factors so far is, can I reduce the number of these stupid inventory tags? Can I get more than 50 listings drafted up in my Vendoo? The next thing I'm not really going to use, but I've used it in the past, is how many active listings do I have on each platform? I am not I don't know. I mean, I think I'll probably look at it, but it's not currently like a big motivation for me. I've got like 754 listings active on Etsy, 582 on eBay, and 786 on Depop. But keep in mind that a lot of times I have a lot of items that are listed on all three places. So even though those numbers are different, um, there's a lot of stuff that's listed on all three. There's some stuff that I like don't even want at all right now. Like that's part of the reason I'm not looking at those numbers. I need to really like go through and do a major inventory reconciliation, but not right now. So that can be, though, a motivating factor for me at other times. Um, Also, some like external things that have been really motivating for me. Like these are all little tips and tricks. So, instead of like just trying to like reduce my number of cards, I'm going to try and reduce my number of cards and look at my Vendoo numbers as I go. Maybe the number of items I have active in my platforms. I don't know. But another thing that's sort of like a little bit more external to me, that's not driven by my own actions and that I'm sort of like held accountable to by people other than myself. This is a weird one, but like Depop currently added me to some weird listing challenge kind of against my will. They just were like, oh, we're putting you into the accelerated seller program. That sounds fancy. It's not. I barely sell anything on Depop. But they did this one other time, and apparently the month, I think it was a month, it was either 3 weeks or a month, where they were challenging you to like list whatever. They gave you certain goals. And I think that they, in the email they sent me this time, they said that in the last challenge, I listed 40 items, I think. And this time they want me to go for like 45 items or something. I don't remember. I do know that the last time that they had this challenge, I was doing a lot of cross posting through Vendoo. So I wasn't really doing new listings. I was just taking stuff from Etsy and eBay and putting it over on Depop, which who cares? It's new to Depop, right? But so, I think that'll be like a fun thing to use. Vendoo also does some listing challenges sometimes. And I've participated in listing challenges through like, Facebook groups and stuff in the past that I've been part of. But again, a lot of times those were a little bit easier for me to like not fully engage with if I ended up falling behind, because like it's kind of your friends. Um, it's a little bit, the Depop one is just like you get emails from Depop and they're like, hey, this is where you're at. But kind of getting that email and going, this is where you're at can help me sometimes because I will often forget how much I've done. So so having that number in Vendu to see like, oh wow, I posted 50 new things this week or this week, no, this month. Um, in my head, a lot of times I'll be like, yeah, I haven't even done any work this month. I've listed like three things. And then, I look at my Vendu and it's like, oh, I listed 24, so that's pretty common for me. So getting these emails from Depop is a little helpful. I haven't done the Vendu challenge only because there's a lot of times that I feel like there's pressure that I have from other stuff going on, and I didn't want to like put myself into a group and sort of publicly hold myself accountable with other people that way. But it can be really good at certain points. Other external things for me, these are a little bit more specific, I think, but Whatnot and YouTube are helpful for me. I've been really consistent with those two things. Whatnot for probably at least a year, if not 2 years. And I've been very consistent with my YouTube schedule for quite a while now. And the Whatnot, I have a scheduled weekly show. And because I schedule it regularly and I feel like I have people who keep returning to my shows over and over again, I feel like I've made a commitment to other people to continue to do these shows. I can reschedule them at any time, I can cancel them whenever I want. Like, there's nothing negative that will happen to me because of it. But I feel like, oh, but people are expecting me to be there, so I have to show up. So I've been very consistent with that. And the same thing with my YouTube publishing. I almost didn't make this video today because I just was not feeling like I had anything good to put out. But I've been really consistent with it, and I want to be able to keep that consistency. I've been seeing results from it, and it's exciting. And so I didn't want to let myself down, and I didn't want to potentially let down all of my fans. Sorry, no, I know I'm being ridiculous, but I feel like I've been super consistent with that, and I wanted to keep going on that. I'm on a really good track. So, those are a little bit specific, but having those sort of external forces is helpful sometimes. It's also oddly detrimental because having that Whatnot show structure and feeling like I have to keep putting new inventory into Whatnot kind of keeps my inventory overwhelm at like a consistent pace. I'm always bringing new things in, and it's like 2 days of the week where I'm not focused on listing anywhere else besides Whatnot. So, it's in catch 22, but it's still good. Another thing that really helps me motivation wise is having my photos taken before I write the listings for them. I've tried doing it in the past where I write the drafts first and then take photos afterwards, but I find that when I write my drafts, it's a lot easier for me. Number one, I have to have the article because it's usually clothing, right? I have to have the article of clothing there next to me so that I can touch it and hold it up and obviously measure it, but do all that stuff. But I also like having the photos done because I can refer to the photos for more specifics and like to see what it looks like on a body. I'm modeling the photos. So seeing what it looks like on a person helps me write out the descriptions a little more as well. I don't I don't know why. It just does. I guess I'm, needing those sort of multiple forms of input, seeing it, feeling it, all that kind of stuff. Um, I have a friend who will write all of her drafts and then she like takes the measurements of the stuff and she just sits down with her measurements so that she can write her drafts. I really have a hard time doing that because I want to, I'm double checking the tag for the fiber content and the washing instructions, that I want to feel what the fabric is like and how heavy it is and is it like, you know, all of that. So it really helps me to take the photos first. I feel more motivated and excited to do the drafts when I have all those photos in front of me. Another thing that's been helpful for me is something that's, I'm going to call it co-working, but it's also referred to a lot as body doubling. Um, and although body doubling is a weird sounding term for it, I think, but basically the idea is that you have another person or persons present and it just makes you do work. And if this is one of those things where if it doesn't work for you, this is not going to make any sense. But if it does work for you, you're going to be like, oh my God, yes. So weird. So I first heard about this with the term body doubling through a lot of ADHD stuff. It's a thing that ADHD people talk about. And it's just that kind of the simple presence of another person there with you kind of makes you stay focused and do your work. And when I first heard about it, the way that I really recognized it in myself is, have you ever been home and you had to have like the cable guy come or a plumber or something like that? Like there's a stranger person in your house. Maybe if you have like a housekeeper, I don't know. I don't have one of those, but um, this semi stranger person in your house. When I have people working in my house for any reason, I cannot just sit around and watch TV or anything like that. I feel like I have to be doing something. And there's definitely a little bit of an element of like, oh, they're going to judge me if I'm just sitting here watching TV. So I have to be doing something. And why do I care if the plumber is judging me? I don't know. But, you know, it's definitely like a feeling that I recognize. And that's kind of the idea behind body doubling. And it's not really a negative feeling. It's just this tiny little like nudge of a feeling like, oh, somebody's looking, you better stay focused. I don't, if you don't get it, you're not going to get, I don't know how to explain it to you if it's not something you experience, but it's definitely something I experience. And so what I will do sometimes is get on like Zoom or something with other people, and literally all we're doing is sitting there doing work at the same time. I will say that if you decide to take part in this, you have to be really careful about who you choose to do this with, because I absolutely have people in my life that I cannot do this with because we will not get anything done. We'll just talk instead. I have one friend that I used to do this with a lot, and she was amazing. We would just sit there in complete and utter silence and just the whole time. It was great. Um, so, and it you can use it in different ways too. Like for me, it's definitely helpful to sit in silence while I'm doing any kind of like thinking work, like typing, writing descriptions and things. But also, like another example of it is if I'm doing dishes, it really is helpful for me sometimes to be on the phone with somebody else. And of course, I have to wear like my earbuds or something. But having that like secondary sort of engagement for something. So I can do it with other people where we're a little bit more chatty if I'm doing something manual, steaming clothes, folding clothes, putting away inventory, things like that. Sometimes just being on the phone with someone or, being on a FaceTime or something is super helpful because it gets you up and out of whatever slump you are currently in. I find that if I have to do anything that involves actual thinking with words, like I can't listen to music because I can't listen to words and that at the same time. But having that person on a Zoom with me, just their presence is helpful because I feel like I have to just stay engaged with what I'm trying to work on. They're not going to do anything if I'm not engaged. They're not going to say like, Laura, what are you doing? It's it's just a weird psychological thing. Apparently there are actually apps that you can like sign up for strangers to do this with you. I haven't tried any of that yet because I can usually get people that I know to kind of do it with me, but I do have to either be careful about who I choose. And I do think it's important, there's times like with friends that I do it with, I'm like, yeah, today I'm, just doing this, and we can be a little bit chatty, or, no, I'm focusing today, and if we could sit in silence and do this, that would be helpful. So there's that. Let's see. And oh, yeah, the other thing that I just wrote down as a note for myself, I definitely get more excited about doing my listings when I'm doing clothing pieces. I do sell other stuff. I've got this stupid box has been sitting up here for like a week. This is full of glasses that I don't feel like listing. I drafted them already. I just have to photograph them. I should photograph them as soon as I'm done with this video and just get them up there. I don't want to do it. You can see it's not even that hard to photograph. I just don't like it. Doing women's clothing seems to be the thing that I have the most fun with. I do sell some men's clothing. I do sell some hard goods. Um, I've given up on kids' clothing. I do terribly with it. I don't know. But the women's clothing is the most fun for me to do, and especially if it's something really cool. I mean, a lot of times I'll pick stuff up that I know other people might like, but it doesn't sort of light me up as much, and that's a little bit harder. So those are some of my motivational factors a little bit. One other thing that I do try to do is, you know, because I'm dealing with so much clothing, little piles and stashes of things everywhere, I sort of try to either, um, let's clear off this tabletop kind of thing. Like everything that's on this table, I'm going to deal with and get listed, or everything that's in this bag, I'm going to get listed, whatever. Sometimes that works for me. I don't currently have anything where that's really, I'm looking around my apartment right now going, can I do it over here? No, I don't. So that's another thing that's worked for me in the past, but I'm going to try it this week slash month to see if I can combine these elements, specifically my vendor listings and my little inventory cards. I really want to see if I can get use that to help me get some stuff done. I've got a whole bunch of men's clothing that I have drafted and I just need to take photographs, and I don't really want to do it, but I'm looking at it like, okay, this little stack, I'm looking at the stack of t-shirts. The stack of t-shirts over here, they're all drafted. I just have to photograph them and then I can fold them up and put them in bags and use some of my little inventory tags and get them out of the way. So trying to use that as a motivation. Um, that's all I got. I don't know. What do you guys do? So the other thing that I forgot about, I want to try and do this is, every week I have 30 new items that I put up on Whatnot for the most part when I can. Most of the time I do. I get my 30 in there. Um, and I don't usually sell 30 pieces of inventory per show. So what I want to do is, okay, I've got 30 new pieces that came in. I sold, let's say I sell 17 of them. I want to make sure that I get the other 13 listed so that every week there's 30 pieces that they're not all necessarily going to be leaving. I mean, hopefully that would be nice. But out of the 30 that came in, I want to make sure that 30 is like either back out or out and listed. So that's my other sort of thing that I'm going to add to my little list that I forgot about. But let me know what you guys do to motivate yourself. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm in a good mood this week, this month. I've been feeling pretty good about things. And so I'm hoping to utilize this to kind of help myself take off a little bit. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope you found it helpful or interesting, or motivational. And I will see you again soon.